Hello friends! So if we're all just holographic projections, then where's the projector? Where's the light coming from? And how does this whole amazing physical matter reality, including most importantly us humans, come from a holographic projection and have soul and consciousness and purpose? I'm going to tell you, and it's going to blow your mind. So it all starts with something called a neutrino. Neutrinos are these subatomic particles. They're the most abundant subatomic particle in the entire universe. In fact, if you could see neutrinos, it would be all that you saw. You'd be blinded by the light. We'll get more into that in a minute because it's so wild. So in fact, right now you have 100 trillion, with a T, 100 trillion neutrinos passing through your body every second. 100 trillion neutrinos passing through your body every second. Okay, so what's a neutrino? Where does it come from? What does it do? Well, a neutrino is like the pixel that makes up this virtual reality. They come from stars. Most of the ones that come through our body come through from our star, because it's our local source, but they come from every star in the universe, going all the way back to the beginning of the universe. So look at the stars as the projector. It projects out these neutrinos, which is kind of like light, okay? But we can't see it. We don't interact with it, but we see it. It's kind of like when you see an old movie projector and it's projecting out the movie. You can look at the stream, the projection stream, and you won't see anything unless there's dust or smoke or something. But when it hits the canvas, the surface, the screen, then you see the image. That's what neutrinos are. We don't see them when they're flying through space, but we see them when they hit the screen because we are that thing. And what is the screen? Earth. So when you have a holographic projection, you have to have a laser that projects the light, and then that laser hits a holographic plate. And that holographic plate encodes the information, and then it creates this interference pattern, and that is the 3D image. That's the hologram. So you have to have a source, you have to have a light, and then you have to have a plate. So picture the stars as the source. The stars are projecting out the light, and it hits the plate, which is Earth, which is this physical matter reality, and it projects us. It's so much deeper than that. That's a very simplified version, because these neutrinos don't just go from point A to point B. They pass through things. So the planets in particular have certain archetypes and certain information encoded in the planets. And as neutrinos pass through the planets, they pass straight through everything. Okay, they don't stop when they hit stuff. They go right through. Like I said, right now you have 100 trillion neutrinos passing through you every single second. It's what makes the hologram, which is you. It is the projector light. So anyways, as these neutrinos pass through planets, they pick up information. They're filtered by the planets, and then that comes through. And that's why your things like your natal chart and things like human design and that kind of stuff can dictate your personality types and all that, because as the neutrinos, which make you up, as they go through these planets, so depending on where the planets are around Earth at your time of birth, you're going to be encoded with certain information that gives you your physical traits, your personality types and behaviors and skill sets and that kind of stuff. That's how we are pre-programmed at birth to have these particular things, right? So that's wild. So then let's go more into like the human design thing, because they really break this down in a fascinating way. They talk about something called a magnetic monopole, and that you have inside of you this monopole. So instead of a dipole like most magnets, it's just a monopole. It just attracts. And it attracts these two crystals. So you have your design crystal and your personality crystal. Your design crystal is basically your physical avatar design, all the attributes and skill sets and behaviors and stuff that makes your physical body what it is. And then you have your personality crystal, which is like your consciousness. It is the essence of you, your soul. And this magnetic monopole fuses those two things. It combines them into you. And then it is what basically takes those neutrinos and it projects who you are. And it also guides you. It's like a magnet pulling you to your destiny, your pre-planned kind of purpose for this lifetime. All this is done through that magnetic monopole, which is also what basically projects out the hologram, which is you, and fuses together essentially your personality crystal and your design crystal, which is the information that makes your body what it is, and the information coming from your consciousness. So this is what you are, and this is how you're formed, and this is how everybody on Earth is formed, and it all comes from the neutrinos, because the neutrinos is the light. It is the light source, or it's the light. The source is the stars. So back in the day, all the ancient religions and cultures used to worship the sun as God. This is why, because the stars are the projectors. If this is a holographic universe, the stars are the projectors. Neutrinos are the light, but they're not just the light. They're the light plus the data. Because remember, this is all an information-based cosmos. Everything is purely information. So we're made up of data. That data is the neutrinos. Pretty wild, man. Let me know what you guys think about all this. Have a beautiful day. Peace.